So there are some investigators that are here, and I would like for them to stand up just in case you are in need of investigators. Will y'all stand up, please? Some of us have investigators. For those of you who don't, or if you need to speak with someone, there are ladies right here who are happy to answer your questions. Miranda Miador yesterday spoke about investigating, and we also had investigations spoken about today with Mark Hochglobe. So it permeates our cases and it helps us be effective as lawyers. So if you need to speak to those ladies, I'm sure they wouldn't mind if you pull them outside. Our next speaker is Tyrone Moncrief. And I thought y'all were about to start cheering. I feel like cheering. Tyrone has this deep baritone voice, as Casey said, and he speaks in a very measured tone. He takes pregnant pauses. He's very dynamic, and he will tell a story that you will remember. It's what he has been trained to do. It's what he does so well, and it's why we asked him to come and teach us his secrets.
I wasn't sure how it was going to be set up here. For example, I like to speak where I can move around the room. But they told me I had to stand in one spot because I don't have a lavalier mic. But I'm a trial lawyer. That means I can make adjustments instantly to any situation. Reminds me of a story about this burglar, one of the best in the world. He would break into people's homes, but he would always be sure nobody was there. He broke into this home once, though, and there was a man and woman in the back room. He said, "Oh my God, I don't want to hurt anybody, but you understand I'm a professional. And that means I must kill you because you've seen my face." He pulled out his pistol and he pointed toward the woman. And he said, "Before I kill you, give me your names." And the woman, in a very soft voice, said, "My name is Elizabeth." He said, "Oh my God, Elizabeth. Well, that's my grandmother's name, and I could never hurt anybody with the name Elizabeth." He took the pistol and toward the man and said, "And what is your name?" "My name is John, but everybody calls me Elizabeth." Here I'm doing a subject that Mark said he put 0 time in preparation for. Opening statements, right? Look, we are artists. I promised Jerry Garino that I was going to cut it short. I'm just amazed that anybody's here. We are artists. Trial lawyers are artists, and artists make you feel. Artists make you feel. Oh, I didn't really want to be a lawyer, folks. I wanted to be a writer. A trial lawyer, mammy. I wanted to be a writer. You know why? Because Herman Melville took me on a whaling ship in Moby Dick. John Steinbeck took me on a trip from Oklahoma to California in the Grace of Broads. And Harper Lee took me to a courtroom where I saw a guy named Atticus Finch. I sat there with him as he fought for a young black man's life. Hemingway took me on an old ship in Old Man in the Sea. How many of you read Hemingway? If you read Hemingway, you know Hemingway was the master of the short sentence. Let me give you a sentence from Hemingway. Baby shoes for sale, never worn. Baby shoes for sale, never worn. These writers were masters of words, and they could take words and take me on a trip. Over the years that I started to practice law, I saw good lawyers and I saw great lawyers. Good lawyers and I saw great lawyers. Good lawyers were great communicators. Good lawyers were great communicators, but great lawyers connect. Great lawyers connect. I have two objects with this presentation, folks, and I'm going to cut it short. I want to tell you the power of a simple story. And I'm going to make the room disappear. I'll tell you the power of a story. And I'm going to make the room disappear. And usually when I say the room is going to disappear, somebody looks at me and says, that guy is off, man. What's your name, ma'am? Christy. She looked at me and said, that guy is off, man. But when I do it, I'm going to come back and point toward you, Christy. Now look, some of you have heard me speak. I know you have. I know you know my stories. But I've got to do this for those who haven't. You with me? What I'm about to do now, some of you have heard, but I've got to do it for those who haven't. When I was in undergrad school, I don't remember a lot, but I do remember one instance where a teacher walked in and she said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go to your refrigerators. And I want you to open the door. And as you open the door, you notice that light comes on and that cool breeze hits you right about here in your stomach, and there is a lemon in that refrigerator. And it is the biggest lemon you've ever seen. I want you to take your hand, reach for it, and notice the rough texture. Notice how your hand drops because of the size and weight of it. Put it on the nearest table and roll it backwards and forward. Backwards and forward. Take that knife in the nearest drawer, and you notice the sound of the utensils when you take that knife out, the sharp one. Start to slice that lemon in the middle. Backwards and forward. Backwards and forward. Juices are starting to come out, and you turn your head because of the smell. Backwards and forward. It splits in two. You take the side that has the seeds. Squeeze it a little bit till the juices run over your hand, and take that side of the lemon and bite it. Boy, if you could see the frowning faces that I see here. I can't get into a lot, but I know some of you felt uncomfortable here. Here. I know some of you started to develop a saliva in your mouth. I know it, you don't have to tell me. And when at 19 years old, I said that was dangerous. At 19, that was dangerous. It was dangerous because a human being can walk into a room and make me salivate. You with me, Connie? A human being could make me salivate just talking. Y'all get that? A human being can walk into a room and make me have physical reactions just talking. And I knew if they could do that, they can make me smell bleach. They can make this room hot and cold. They could make me feel the pistol placed to the back of my head and hear it cock. Just talking. I'm going to do something. I want you to listen to the two dogs behind me barking. And one is yap, yap, yap. And the other, gruff, gruff, gruff. Raise your hand if you see a big dog and a little dog. Did I say there was a little dog and a big dog? No. I found out that using certain sounds could make people see things. Here's what's going to really get you. You're going to walk away and say, that Moncrief guy is crazy. Watch this. I'm going to count to 5. I'm going to count to 5. And when I get to 5, you will hear your own mother's voice in your ear. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to tell me you heard her voice. I can see in your face. You heard her voice. I didn't make that voice, folks. All I did was gave you the opportunity to access that voice. In trials, I think trial lawyers go so fast they don't give jurors the opportunity to access the sounds that are inside of them. Young lawyers, I've seen young lawyers who are 5 years and under. Anybody 5 years and under? We got, okay, one or two. Nothing but old bunches here, right? To the young lawyers, the old lawyers, you know what happens in a courtroom. Skip, can you come up for a second? Old lawyers know this. But some of the young lawyers may not know the room shifts in a courtroom. The energy shifts in a courtroom. And let me tell you why. I call Skip up because everybody loves Skip. Skip is my client. We're in court. He's a universally loved person. Pays his lawyers on time, and we love him. You're the jury, though, and you don't know Skip, and you don't know what he's charged with. And Judge Belinda Hill reads the indictment. And she says that Skip is charged with aggravated sexual assault of a 6-year-old. I'm going to repeat it twice, because Judge Hill would always read my indictments twice. I don't know why. Aggravated sexual assault of a 6-year-old. And I say, Judge, why do you have to read it twice? Look. You see, y'all see like how I like to move around. The room has changed. And there is a word inside of you because the room has changed. The energy has changed in this room. Raise your hand if you believe it. And inside of you, there is a word. If you're thinking about it, it's not the right word. It's not something for you to think about. It's a word inside of your gut. And all I want you to do is yell it out. What is that word inside of your gut? Yell it out. Guilty. What's another one? Pervert. I always get pervert. What's another one? Repulsive. What's another one? Disgust. Bastard. And I'm going to stop with bastard. Folks, let me tell you something. Those are the words inside of the guts of our jurors in voir dire. I don't care what they're telling you about getting up and say beyond, we get up and it's beyond a reasonable doubt and all that. Inside of their guts, they've made decisions. Inside of their guts, they've made decisions. The advantage we have as criminal defense lawyers, we come last after voir dire. We come last after opening statements. We must take advantage of that. I heard a great lawyer do this in the same type of case. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I don't get to pick